Hi students, this is Mr. Yao. Today we're going to continue to learn more about trigonometry, and in this lesson we will learn about a special right triangle. First, prior knowledge. Find the missing side of the triangles below. And since two sides are given, we're just using Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side. So 1 squared is 1 plus another 1 squared. That's going to equal to hypotenuse squared, so c squared. And in that case, left side is a 2 equals c squared, so c is the square root of 2. Next, b, 2 squared and 2 squared, c squared. Left side is an 8 equals c squared, so c is 2 square root of 2. Next, square root of 2 squared plus another square root of 2 squared equals c squared. This is where a lot of you might make the mistake. It's not just the square root of 2 that's being squared. You also need to square the 3 in the front. So it's actually going to be an 3 squared and a square root of 2 squared. So that's actually an 18. Plus 18, left side is 36. That equals c squared, so c is 6. Next, 5 square root of 3 squared plus another 5 square root of 3 squared equals c squared. Same thing, you got to square the square root of 3, you also got to square the 5. So it's 25 times 3 is 75. Left side is actually 150. That equals to c squared. So when you take the square root, it is 5 square root of 6. Okay, looking at those 4 questions, you're given both of the right sides, right angle side, and is asking to find hypotenuse. What did you notice about these triangles? You can pause here and think for a quick second. Okay, maybe you have noticed that they're all right triangles. Maybe you have also noticed that the angles are all labeled as 45 degrees, which makes the other angle another 45 degrees. So they're isosceles triangles. The sides being the same confirms that. And maybe you have also noted some relationship between the hypotenuse and the 2 given sides. So let's have a look. This is a special right triangle that is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. The legs are the same length because they are isosceles triangles since the 2 angles are the same. And not only are the legs the same length, the hypotenuse also have a relationship, which is the leg times square root of 2. So if you now go back to the prior knowledge, you might have noticed 1 times square root of 2 is square root of 2. 2 times square root of 2 is 2 square root of 2. 3 square root of 2 times another square root of 2, these two together is a 2 times 3, that's a 6. 5 square root of 3 times square root of 2, square root of 3 and square root of 2 is square root of 6, so that does give us 5 square root of 6. So there you go, that's the relationship. Legs are the same length, the hypotenuse is the leg times square root of 2. Okay, based on that, we can find the sine 45, cosine 45, and tangent 45 degrees pretty easily. Sine 45, so let's say we're focusing on this angle right here. That will make the x the opposite, this other x the adjacent, and x times square root of 2 the hypotenuse. So sine 45 degrees is opposite over hypotenuse, so it's x over x times square root of 2. The x's will cancel, so you're left with a 1 over square root of 2. Multiply both the top and the bottom by a square root of 2, simplifies to be square root of 2 over 2. Cosine 45 is also x over x times square root of 2. It's the same as the sine 45, so it's square root of 2 over 2 as well. As for the tangent 45, that's x over x, so it's a 1. And this should also make sense because we have talked about the co-function. The 45 and 45 degree make up 90 degrees. That's why the sine and the cosine are actually going to be exactly the same. So now we're going to use these little features about 45, 45, 90 triangle, solve some examples. Example 1. So the hypotenuse is given, and the hypotenuse is the leg times square root of 2. So m times square root of 2 is 4 square root of 2. So m is 4. There you go. Next, n times square root of 2 is 20. So in order to find n, you get 20 over square root of 2. But don't forget to simplify that. So that is going to be a 20 square root of 2 over square root of 2 times square root of 2 is a 2. So it's 10 square root of 2. Next, this time you're given the leg. So B has to be the same since they're all 45, 45, 90 triangles. And A is going to be 2 square root of 2 times another square root of 2. So 2 times 2 is a 4. That's 3. Moving on, 4, you're given the hypotenuse again, so x and the y are going to be the same. and they're both going to be 4 divided by square root of 2. Let's times the top and the bottom by square root of 2. We got 4 square root of 2 over 2 simplifies to be 2 square root of 2. Next, you're given a leg, so of course y is going to be the same. Y is also going to be 3 square root of 2 over 2. As for the x, that's going to be 3 square root of 2 over 2 times a square root of 2, or in other words, times the square root of 2 over 1. So we're going to get on the top, square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2 times 3 is a 6 over 2. That's a 3. Next, hypotenuse is a square root of 6. P and Q are going to be the same, and it's going to be the hypotenuse divided by square root of 2. Let's multiply the top and the bottom by square root of 2, or you can directly divide. So either do it this way, that's going to give you a square root of 12 over a 2, and then keep simplifying, or you can simply do 6 over 2, both under the square root. That's going to be a square root of 3. That's 6. Moving on, 7, y of course is going to be the same. X is going to be that, multiply it with a square root of 2, so 2 square root of 10. 8, y is the same, square root of 6 over 6, so x is going to be square root of 6 over 6, since it's the hypotenuse, multiply with a square root of 2 or square root of 2 over 1. We'll get a square root of 12 on the top over a 6. We do need to simplify that. Square root of 12 is going to be 2 square root of 3 over 6. Simplifies to be square root of 3 over 3. Next, number 9, you're given the hypotenuse. So both the legs are going to be the same. Oh, not x and y, is u and v. 2 square root of 10 over square root of 2. Since square root of 10 and square root of 2 are both under the square root, so we can simply do 2 times square root of 10 over a 2. That's going to be a 2 square root of 5. And that is number 9. And that's everything for this 45, 45, 90 triangle lesson. Thank you.